The door didn't just open, it exploded. One second I was standing in my own home office, barefoot on hardwood floors, eyes locked on glowing screens, fingers hovering over keys, and the next, the sound of splintering wood swallowed everything. A concussion of noise, shouting, boots, a gun inches from my face, down hands where I can see them. I remember thinking oddly calm. This is how people lose control of their lives in under 5 seconds. I didn't fight. I didn't yell. I raised my hand slowly, careful not to make any sudden moves. Zip ties cinched tight around my wrists, biting into skin. Someone shoved my shoulder and I hit the wall, not hard enough to break anything, just hard enough to remind me I wasn't in charge anymore. Glass crunched under their boots as they flooded the room. One of them laughed. Not cruel, not angry, casual, like this was routine. "Real nice setup you've got here," he said, glancing at the screens. "What is this, some kind of gamer cave?" I swallowed whatever response wanted to come out of my mouth, because the truth was, if I said the wrong thing, people could die. I was wearing old sweatpants and a faded t-shirt. No badge, no uniform, no reason at a glance for anyone to believe I belonged in this house, let alone at the center of something critical. I knew exactly how I looked to them: wrong, out of place, suspicious. I said it anyway, calm, steady. "You're in the wrong house. I'm the homeowner. My identification is in my wallet." That earned me another laugh. "Sure you are." One of them pulled my wallet out, flipped it open, glanced for half a second, then tossed it onto the desk like trash. "Cute fake," he said. "Who made it for you?" That was the moment something in me shifted. Not anger, clarity. I realized this wasn't about evidence or safety or even procedure. This was about a story they'd already written in their heads, and I didn't fit the ending they wanted. Behind them, my screens kept pulsing softly, alerts stacking up, messages unanswered. Somewhere far away, people were waiting on me, trusting me, and I was sitting on my own floor with plastic cutting into my wrists. I tried again. "I need one phone call." They ignored me. A neighbor stood just outside the broken doorway, arms crossed, bathrobe half open, watching, like he'd ordered a show, and it finally arrived. He squinted at me, then nodded toward the officers. "That's him," he said. "Never seen him around here before." I looked at him, disbelief creeping in. "I've lived here 3 years, I said. You waved at me last weekend." He shook his head, certain, comfortable. "No, I'd remember." That hurt more than the cuffs. Time stretched. Every second felt heavier. The room smelled like dust and adrenaline. One officer leaned over my desk, tapping at keys he had no business touching. Another snapped photos of screens he didn't understand. "This is classified," I said quietly. "Uh-huh," someone replied. "Everything's classified." Inside, I was running calculations, not tactical ones, but moral ones. How far do I push? When do I break protocol? How many lives outweigh procedure? My phone buzzed on the desk, then buzzed again, and again. I didn't need to see the name to know who it was. I turned toward the one officer who hadn't said much, younger, tense, eyes darting like some part of him knew this was wrong. "Listen," I said, "I'm not asking for a lawyer. I'm asking for one call. Not for me, for others." He hesitated, looked at the others, looked at the screens. "What's the harm?" he said finally. "Put it on speaker." The room went quiet as the phone connected. A voice came through, calm, sharp, unmistakably in charge. "Where have you been?" I didn't waste time. "Sir, I'm dealing with an unauthorized entry at my command station. Local authorities unaware of containment protocol." Silence. "Then are you secure?" "No." Another beat. "Put the officers on the line." One of them took the phone, confidence draining from his face with every word that followed. I didn't need to hear the titles, the warnings, the countdown. I could feel the air change. Authority didn't arrive loudly. It settled, heavy, final. "You have 30 seconds, the voice said. "Release him." Hands moved fast after that. Zip ties cut, no eye contact, no apologies. I stood up slowly, joints stiff, dignity intact. Power flickered. The lights went out for a moment, systems locking down, taking control back where it belonged. When they came back on, I felt different, not bigger, clearer. They were told to leave. Some hesitated. They were reminded again. After they were gone, after the glass was swept and the doors replaced, after the mission finished, and the last notification went quiet, people kept asking me the same question. "Why didn't you destroy them?" The truth is, I thought about it for about 5 seconds. Then I thought about all the people who don't get a phone call answered, who don't get believed, who don't have cameras or connections or credentials someone respects. So instead, I documented everything. I spoke where it mattered. I didn't talk about feelings, I talked about failures. Systems, patterns, how assumption becomes policy if no one stops it. How bias isn't just unjust, it's dangerous. I sat in rooms where people suddenly listened very carefully. Not because I raised my voice, but because silence had already proven how loud the truth could be. Careers ended. Policies changed. Training manuals were rewritten. Oversight gained teeth. I didn't attend the hearings for closure. I didn't watch the interviews. I went back to work. Months later, I ran into one of them in a coffee shop. No uniform, no badge, just a man tired, unsure. "I thought I was doing my job," he said. I nodded. "That's the problem. We didn't shake hands. We didn't become friends. But something shifted, not just between us, but in the space where stories like this usually end. Because this one wasn't about me winning. It was about something being exposed. Today my door is stronger. My systems are tighter. My neighborhood waves more. And every time I hear someone say, "If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear," I think back to that night. The glass, the laughter, the certainty in a stranger's voice. And I wonder, do you think power changes how people treat you, or does it just reveal who they already were? Tell me what you think in the comments.